Welcome back to the Ridgeline Hunting Podcast, brought to you by Phelps Game Calls, with your hosts, David Crane and David Sandana.
Hey everybody, if you are looking for a game call that is elk, turkey, deer, predator calls, waterfowl calls, we highly recommend PhelpsGameCalls.com. Professional grade game calls made for every hunter. There we go. All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we have a special guest, Kirk Douglas. He's running around his garage right now. Kirk, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Just still thinking about that Arizona trip down there in your neck of the woods, and can't wait to get back.
Yeah. It's a good place to hunt this time of the year, for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. Just weather-wise, everything. I mean, it was cold in the morning, but not anything you can't deal with. There's no snow, there's no rain, or at least not every day there's rain. And, as long as you dress properly, you're in the hunt from sun up to sundown.
Yeah. I don't know, probably 3 days after all you guys left, it was back up to, 73 during the day and 50 in the morning.
Of course.
So it's a little bit warmer now than it was that first week, but that's how it goes down here. Kind of this time of the year, weather tends to change quick.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been trying to get down to Arizona now for, I couldn't even tell you how many years. I remember the first year that I tried to go out there, it was probably right around November of, it was either 2018 or 2019. I broke my ankle playing basketball. And this is when you could just go get your license, head down to Arizona, and buy your tag basically right there over the counter. Now all that's changed. Can you explain why they did that? Do you have any clue?
Well, I think I'm sure they gave a reason for why they did it. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I heard a few different versions of it, and there's a lot of non-residents that come down here and during that season, and on some of the they also during that time of the year is when they're doing their surveys, and I think they were seeing fewer mule deer in particular. So they decided to start limiting the number of tags. I also think that Arizona is a lot like other states where, guys that are dyed in the wool rifle hunters and guys that are dyed in the wool archery hunters, they don't seem to be able to get on the same page. So I know there was some pressure being put on the commission to make a rule change because essentially the rifle hunters and the muzzleloader guys are saying, well, if the archery hunters can buy over-the-counter tags, then we should be able to also. Which I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit of a ridiculous argument. That's comparing apples and walnuts. So I guess it depends on who you talk to. And I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine the game commission that makes the rules actually saying, well, the reason we're changing this is because the guys that hunt rifle want us to. So if that were the case, they wouldn't admit it. So who knows? And like we talked about when you were here, archery deer hunting is not something that I'm really doing any of, honestly, this last season or this season. So I kind of wasn't really paying a lot of attention to it, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, and that's that's fine. I know leading up to these other seasons, I don't really look at the rifle season unless I pull a multi-season. So, when
Yeah.
those rules kind of come around, you're kind of just like, meh. And it's really mainly the non-resident folks that kind of have it hard,
Hmm.
The residents, I mean, like they should have basic priority over it. So that like it was like a non-resident thing. We had like a certain day that we had to get in and buy the tags, which for me it wasn't a problem. I could see
Yeah.
how somebody else could, possibly have a problem with it, but our hunting group that was there got all tags. So
Yeah.
as long as you're on top of it, I don't see that there being a real issue or a real problem.
No, I mean, for me, I'm pretty much, if I don't draw a rifle tag, then I'll go archery hunting in December. But I don't shoot my bow nearly enough to, um, I've been doing a little better with it, but I'm just not, I'm not as consistent with the bow as I used to be. And I'm not going out there and flinging arrows at stuff at 60 yards and, hoping. Hope's not a good plan. So,
No, flinging an arrow with a prayer is not good. You want to be
yeah, no,
dialed.
I don't want to do that. And rifle tags in Arizona, if you really, if you pay attention to what you're doing, I've been pretty lucky the last couple of years, but drawing late December tags 2 years in a row. But there's no reason a guy can't draw a rifle tag nearly every year here. It just depends on what you're applying for.
Now, are you talking resident? A resident
Hmm.
wouldn't have a problem? Yeah, okay. Because I
Yeah.
was like, well, if that's the case, then I need to be putting in for some rifle points, which I'm going to
Well,
this
I
next
mean,
year around. I'm going to be putting in
if
for some
you,
rifle deer tags.
yeah, it's no different applying anywhere else. If you don't play, you can't win. So
Exactly. You got to pay to play, right?
I had a friend that drew one of two desert bighorn sheep tags a few years ago with one sheep point.
Oh my gosh.
So
That dude's
if you don't
lucky,
win, yeah, you don't win, you can't play.
right?
Can't don't play, you can't win. I think is what I needed to say.
I got what you were saying. So I really wanted to dive into really the tactics of bow hunting in Arizona. I know you don't really do it that much anymore, but you used to. And then, I mean, you had 4 archery hunters out there just a couple weeks ago trying to do the dang thing. Like, uh, I believe it all worked. We're rawing deer every single day. We're after, I would call monster bucks. Obviously, you see absolute toads, but if I'm seeing 160 plus deer, I'm happy. Like that, those are deer that I'm trying to go after in my dreams. So,
Yeah. Well, I would say, minus the couple of spikes and the little forky that we saw multiple times, the deer we were seeing they were 180 plus for the most part.
yeah,
Um,
that there's no
uh,
doubt.
so yeah, I mean it's fun. You know, um, it's not easy to kill a a big desert mule deer like that, and for you guys on kind of a limited time frame, um, to be in the deer the way we were, and I think at least a couple of the guys actually had shot opportunities. That's pretty good for a relatively short hunt. Um, and it sounds like it's just it's it when you're up on top of these ridges and you're glassing and you're seeing these deer and everything looks, you look down into these canyons and you think like, oh yeah, it's wide open down there, and you go down that draw and you realize like it's not wide open like it looks from up above. And you got deer that are with you got a buck with a bunch of does, so that makes it difficult. you got the wind as a factor that's, it's blowing one way on top and another way on the bottom. There's all kinds of things that want to screw you up. So it's not it can be challenging for sure, but it's a lot of fun.
That was my main takeaway of the whole trip is expect the unexpected. Like that was like the whole like thing that was going through my head, only because number one, I'm thinking Arizona, it's just gonna be blazing hot, the devil's armpit. You're just going in there, it's gonna be freaking hotter than heck. I'm very glad that I packed my puffy because I almost didn't. It was like the last thing I stuck in my bag, so I was looking at it and I was like, ah, man, I don't think I'm gonna need that. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just take it as like a pillow or just something I could wear at night because I didn't really know how cold it was really going to be. But I'm glad I did because it was, mid to low 30s in the morning and, pretty much the same at night plus the wind factor. It was cold, man. But then,
yeah, it was not a good weather week.
well, I mean, you know where I'm coming from here in the Northwest, man. It's just cold and raining. Like it was just cold and windy. I can deal with cold
Yeah.
and windy. Cold and rain sucks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But for us down here, that was lousy weather.
Well, that was like perfect in my book. I loved it. I had a great time. The sun would come up. I would strip down, get into just some comfortable gear and glass. So like a lot of the hunting that we did for these desert mule deer was a lot of glassing. And I know now going down there with my 10x42s, I need an upgrade. Number one, the glass that I'm using is not like the best. I mean, it's a budget pair of Leopold 10x42s. But I'm thinking the 12x50s because everybody else in the whole party pretty much ran 12x50s, and you guys were spotting a lot more deer than I was. And I think that is a huge factor. Number one, yes, the glass. I can upgrade the glass, but just the magnification. Other than going from my 10x42s to my 15s, back to my 10x42s, like I was doing that a lot.
Yeah, that makes it hard. I did that when I first got down here, and then sort of realized the 12s are nice, sort of middle of the road. You can glass with them offhand. You can throw them on a tripod and be effective with them. So I think the 12s down here, whether they're 12x50 or 12x42, are the way to go. Works pretty well for me.
So would you say that is like the main tactic for Arizona though, is just get up somewhere high and glass
Yeah,
until
for
you
sure.
find something you want to go running after?
Yeah, for sure. If you're just aimlessly walking through the desert thinking you're gonna, see a deer before it sees you, best of luck to you. You got to try to see them.
I tried that.
You got to try to see them, and if possible, the best case scenario is to get them bedded down and move in from there. But that's not always an option. If you see a good buck, if they don't lay down, then go after them before they get out of sight, and hopefully you have the weather or the wind at least in your favor, and if not, you can always reposition for that. But I think the real important thing is to have a spotter that can help you sort of work your way into the deer. I think that's super important.
Yeah, that very last day, that's what you and I did, and I should have zigged and I zagged.
Yeah.
I pretty much put myself out of position for an awesome shot on a really big mule deer. Like that mule deer was bigger than what we thought when it was laying down. Because when it jumped up, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah,
it was
saw
actually
him,
huge.
Yeah, I know he was big, man. I got a good look at him a couple times when he was walking side hilling it, and then he went into that mesquite patch and laid down. I got I didn't get the best look at them, but I got a good enough look to know if somebody needed to try to walk over there for sure.
Yeah, I got I don't know what happened. I went the wrong way. And then when I crest the hill that I was on, like I see this deer running away, and I'm thinking that's the mule deer, because you were like, "Is it big?" And I couldn't see it at first. And I was like, "Nah, it looked like just a forky." And then he turned his head, but when he turned his head, there was it was a nice 4x4, and I was like, "Oh, that's probably him." I turn around to head back down, and then that other deer jumps up and runs away, and I'm just like, "Oh, gotta be kidding me!" Like that's how fast it goes over there, though. But
yeah,
there's deer everywhere, and
oh yeah,
at least in the secret squirrel spot that Kirk had us in, it was awesome. And then meeting the guys that you have guided in the past in New Mexico, they came out, an Amish group of guys that you would never even think that they were Amish, to be honest.
Yeah,
they're really cool. I liked picking their brain on. Yeah, they are good dudes, and just picking their brain on just their culture really was a fun part, and they were open to talking about it, and that was really cool.
Yeah, they're good people, man. I enjoy those guys.
Hopefully they'll be able to come back at the end of this year or the start of 25, because I really enjoyed hunting with those guys. And
yeah, they say that's their plan, but it's probably going to depend on what they decide to do in the fall and all that good stuff. Those guys they'll be hunting somewhere out here in the fall for elk for sure. They always do. So
now, have they made any plans with you for New Mexico at all?
No, and I mean they wouldn't make those plans through me. They'd make them through the outfitter I work with over there, Jacob. But they said that was one of the things they were considering. I know they've hunted Colorado, they've hunted Montana. I think they've hunted Idaho. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But I asked them if they thought they were going to apply for it, and they said they're kind of weighing their options to see what they want to do in the fall. Hopefully, they're fun to hunt elk with, and that's a good place to be chasing bulls in first week of October. So
now, is that
we
with
shall see.
Is that with a rifle or is that with a bow?
Yeah,
it's a rifle hunt.
No, that's rifle.
Oh,
you can
okay.
hunt in there during archery season, and it's pretty good actually. I've gone in there a couple of times with clients, and it's pretty good. The bulls are still bachelored up, and they're not terribly difficult to find in there. And then it's just a matter of finding one with the right disposition. But by the time that first rifle hunt comes around in that particular unit, I mean it's really good, man. They're screaming and running, and it's on. So it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. They were talking about it a lot, and just talking you up, and just like, man, Kirk's so cool and blah blah blah. I was like, I know, man, he's an awesome guy.
It's fun to hunt with those guys, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So see,
I really hope that I'll be able to hunt with those guys again. Hopefully down there in Arizona again, or maybe I can save some pennies up and get Kirk to guide me over in New Mexico on a nice bull. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, man.
So any plans for 24 for you? You have I know you have a couple things coming up in the next couple weeks, but
yeah, I'm going to Chino Valley, Arizona this weekend. Me and a friend of mine is coming down from Bozeman. We're gonna do this NRL hunter match. It's gonna be kind of interesting. I haven't done one, so I'd like to think I know what to expect, but I don't. So we'll see how that goes. I think we're gonna have a good time. We're not in the competitive. We're not competing. We're doing what's called the skills division, where it's kind of for beginners and guys that have never done it.
Right.
So not like it's not like there's going to be a lot of pressure. I think it's basically going to be number one, do you like it, and is something maybe you do couple times, 2-3 times a year. And then if so, then I think it comes down to trying to figure out what gear you're missing. So I'm looking forward to that. That's this weekend. Hunting wise, I'm going to go over to New Mexico probably a couple of times before the spring on just like short weekend trips, some coyote hunting, and
Nice.
picked up a lion tag over there for the Navajo Nation. So I'm going to go up there one weekend with the outfitter I work with. And, then turkey hunting in the spring. I just applied for elk and antelope in Arizona earlier today, so we'll see how that turns out.
I'll
Got
be
my
doing
wife
that on Friday.
Yep, got my wife put in for elk and antelope, and got to get my oldest boy put in for it. And then I'll do that. I'll do some hunts with the outfitter in New Mexico again this year, the elk hunts. Not exactly sure which ones yet. I know I'll do that rifle hunt again. And I'm hoping to get my hands on a landowner antelope tag over in New Mexico this year.
Yeah, hopefully
but
you
we'll
can.
see.
Hopefully you can schmooze that guy over. I want to do that hunt too.
Yeah, we'll see. Don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm going to meet that guy in February and talk with him about that as a possibility. And if so, buy that permit from him and take my wife over there and give her a crack at him.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That's definitely a bucket list hunt for me. You know, I've been wanting to do that hunt for a long time now.
yeah,
We'll see what happens. Hopefully next year, 25.
yeah. Right on.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to turkey hunting as always, but right now trying to catch up on all the sleep I missed in the fall.
Yeah, man. Well, it seems like nonstop you're hunting. Like you're hunting all the time.
Yeah, it feels like it sometimes. Sorry, my son just getting home from work, opened the garage.
Oh, you're all right.
But hey, buddy.
What's up, Reese?
Hey,
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How was work?
Good. It was pretty good. I got off early. My boss let me leave.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, man. Well, have a good one.
Yep, you too.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Yep, you too.
Want
me to close your speaker?
Yeah, you can close it. So, what did you say? What was your question again?
Oh, nothing. We're always looking forward to turkey season and getting on turkeys, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that downtime. When you are a hunter, you're trying to find those filler things, and I do like going out predator hunting and doing all that.
Yeah, I went out to out there where you guys were deer hunting on Sunday, and I wasn't even there for half an hour and shot one of them coyotes.
Nice.
Yeah. Came down, back to the kind of the northwest there, where we kept seeing them over and over and over again, like 350 yards, and it's like, oh, dude, you should have stayed on the other side of the hill, buddy.
Did you ever see those bobcats again? Did you ever see those
no,
things?
But I haven't really looked for them either. My suspicion on those is that those aren't the only holes they live in. They probably got them all over those hills. But I shot one of them coyotes, and I finally had a chance to go and start getting some dope for the other rifle that I built the day before that, actually, on Saturday. And I got dope all the way out to, or all the way. I got dope out to 300, and then I had to get going and get back home. And I didn't have the dope for 350, so I used the dope for my other rifle, which is the same caliber, and it's based on that shot. I would say it's the same because
That's
I
nice.
folded them up. So that was kind of fun. I'll go back out there. I don't mind going out there and just sitting for a couple hours. If you see one, take a crack at him. If not, come back to the house.
There you go. Well, what's nice is that you're only like 40 minutes from these mountains. I mean, you're
Yeah.
like in the perfect spot.
Yeah, it's a pretty good spot. Can't complain. There's some places down south I want to go try to shoot some coyotes before it starts warming up, but having time, it seems like we got something going on every weekend. So
You're telling me. I think it's
So
just
we'll see.
the kids' age and, life itself. I mean, every weekend it's just like, all right, well, we're not working. We got to do something.
yeah, exactly. Oh.
Well, hey, do you want to give a shout out to the outfitter that you work for?
Yeah. Jacob Johnson he's out of Farmington, New Mexico. He primarily Jacob himself is a houndsman and chases a lot of lions and bears with his dogs. He's very good at it. He's got good dogs. And I've been working with him now for 3 years. He does deer and elk hunts too, but he'll tell you big game hunting is not. He'd much rather be with his dogs chasing bears and lions. So he has me and a couple other guys that do the big game hunts for him for deer and elk, and he does some of them too. But yeah, Double J Outfitters. He's not. I don't think he's real active on social media. I say I don't think he is because I'm not real active on it. He does have a website. If you just Google Double J Outfitters New Mexico, he's got a pretty darn good website. His wife does a good job of keeping that up. Gives you a lot of information about him and the kind of hunts he offers. And I don't know that it has pricing on there, but just from and I don't ask him what he charges these guys for these hunts, but from what the hunters have said to me over the years, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better deal for a guided hunt, a fully outfitted guided hunt, than what he's offering. I know for the last 2 years, he's had 25 to 30 bear hunters every year, and every single person he's taken out has filled their tag. That's pretty impressive.
No, that is absolutely fantastic, and that's not anything easy to do as well.
No, it's not. Oh.
But yeah, man, shoot. We'll have to do this again probably around turkey season when we get to talk about those gobblers going off and what tactics we're using, what calls we're using. I might actually go with the bow this year.
Yeah, I don't think I have that in me anymore. But I try to get it done as quick as I can and get back home. Otherwise, my wife gets a little antsy with me sometimes because, like you said earlier, I feel like I do get to go hunting a lot. So when I can get her done quick, I try to get her done quick and get back home.
Yeah. I mean, that's everybody. It's tag out time. It's time to go back home to the mama. So, all right, Kirk. Yeah. Well, thank you a lot for being on the podcast yet again. Thank you, and everybody. If you want to go and possibly get a hunt with Kirk, check out Double J Outfitters out in New Mexico, and you might be able to go hunt with our buddy Kirk. And then we'll have the website in the description as well. So I'll go ahead and put that on the YouTube channel, and I'll put that also on all the podcast platforms and everything. So if anybody wants to check that out, there will be a link in the description.
All right, cool, man. Let's do it again around turkey season.
All right, Kirk, take it easy.
Yeah, buddy.
Have a
You
good
do the same.
night.
We'll talk to you. Yep, you too.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you for listening.